Well, after a very fun season opener at Bahrain last week, we stay in the Middle East this time, but we're going to be going just a little bit across the border into Saudi Arabia for round two of the RPL season calendar. This is RPL season 14. We are entering our second round here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit here in Saudi Arabia. Ironwolf on hand for comms yet again. And, well, this week for comms, I'm the saving grace for this one, for this week. We didn't have comms for last week, for Tier 3 and Tier 2 earlier in the week, but I do have the results, the unofficial results, from those two races. I'm sorry that we didn't have comms on for that one. Not sure what happened to Beat Nick, why he couldn't do Tier 3 back on Thursday. We were supposed to have Faded and Invade, possibly, for Tier 2, but Faded wound up getting ill, so he asked Invade to go to do the Tier 2 comms, but then Faded, unfortunately, had to ditch and go get food. So, I guess Invade getting himself hungry decided couldn't get comms to happen. So, oh well. We'll try to rectify that next week. But here we are at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Basically, some people have called it the Middle Eastern Monaco. It's a little tricky in some spots to overtake. Tight walls. We've had crazy wrecks. I mean, we've seen Willow go airborne. Almost flipped himself over a couple seasons ago. We had a few guys. We had one guy flip himself completely, which led to me losing my shit, so to speak. But let's see what's on hand for this season. So, as for Tier 2 and Tier 3 that we just talked about a little bit ago, so Tier 3, they were at Zandvoort for the second round. That race was won unofficially by Scorenzi, with Neymar in second and Ardell in third. That was the podium from that one. Tier 2 yesterday was in Japan. Unofficially, the winner is Lennon, but he might be possibly facing a penalty depending on what the stewards believe. He does have a clip against him. Joe Wilson was in second. He, I believe at the moment, doesn't have any clips against him in that regard. And JMS is in third. He has one against him. But let's go into the Tier 1 results. So Bahrain was the result for last week. Cookie wound up getting win number 34 in his Tier 1 career, finishing ahead of Skither and his teammate of Willow. So, let us take a look at our benchmark individuals for this session, and we will be going on. We'll be checking out with Robin Brain for his benchmark. Let's ride on board with him as he gets to about 208 before the break zone of turns 1 and 2. I'm going to butcher these corners, I know that for a fact, but there we go, into sector 1. Heading towards basically turn 4. Better be careful on your entry, because we have seen plenty of people crash out, mainly from turning in slightly too early and ripping that left front wheel off. We've had plenty of incidents of that in the past. Back up 30 gears, up to 8th gear, getting to about just under 200 before the Jeddah Spoon, and now making his exit out. Keeping that ERS pretty high up there, around 70%, as he goes through Sector 2 and out into the DRS detection point. DRS zone number 1 is on hand for Robin Brain. 3 DRS zones here. And heads to Sector 2 split. Minute .6 for his bench for that one. Coming out of the last couple of corners here to DRS zone number 2. Overtake, engaged. and flying down, getting to about 208 before that braking zone. The final braking zone, I believe this is turn 27. And Robin Brain, smooth and easy out of the final corner. Harry comes across the line, and he will go with a benchmark of 27.5. So, who is next to get a time onto the board? It's not John, that's Beatnik. He, I believe Beatnik's on an interlap. That's probably what he was on. Some other drivers on the laps, perhaps. Take a look, see. We got more drivers coming across. Shorts. Yep, he's on, definitely on inters. Same with Maxwell just came across with 28-0 for him. And Willow responds. Nice time on him with a 27-2. Goes a few tenths faster than Robin. John with a 28-5. Night Owl with a 28-4. Let's see. Let's go to Reese. He navigates through the middle of Sector 2, coming to the end of it, of Sector 2. He's got a couple cars ahead of him. An Alpine of Union and the Aston of could be Torn Penguin on his cooldown or on a outlap, or it could be Robin on a cooldown. Yeah, Robin on a cooldown or Torn Penguin on an outlap. But I digress. Here comes Reese into the last corner. And let's see what time he is going to manage to muster up. Here comes Union across the line. Goes with a 28-2 for Union. And Reese goes just slightly ahead of Willow with a 27-2-33. So about 25 thousandths of a second is Reese over Willow. And Cookie on an interlap. Oh no, he's on a new lap. Okay, so looks like he buggered it somewhere. Let's take a look. I got quite a bunch of invalidations. A couple of invalidations. Torn Penguin just had to retry his lap. Cookie actually invalidated his first run. Probably right at the tail end of those S's where Cookie is right now. That is likely the area where you'll be seeing quite a lot of invalidations. And in the race, you'll be seeing track limit warnings and penalties going into there. Josh, up in the P6 right, is in P6 with a 28-4, just slightly ahead of Night Owl. Cryptic with a 28-7 for his time on the board too. Was going to be in Sauber on loan earlier, but then got pulled out to fill in for some people that had to back out. But here we go into final corner. I mean, Skither had to back out. That's why Reese is in the Mercedes, and that's also why Cryptic is in the Alpine now instead of Sauber. Here comes Torn Penguin across the line, and he goes for fastest with a 27-9. And Cookie actually goes just slightly behind his teammate with a 27-5 on his part. Let's go with TB. TB currently navigating through into Sector 3 right now. Gets to the DRS point. Now, once TB comes across the line, Gecko is currently in the Jetta Spoon as we speak. So we have a few people. You have to get some laps in. Once TB comes across the line, we'll get our roster situated here. So TB goes in the 8th fastest with a 28-2 for his first lap of Q1. So here's our roster for, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen here. We got Reese in the Mercedes filling in for Skither. We got Willow and Cookie in the McLaren, Robin Brain and Torn Penguin in Aston Martin, Maxwell in Williams, F1 Union in Alpine, TB in V-Carb, Josh 433 from Tier 2, he's in the Kick Sauber, Night Owl is in the Williams, John in Haas, Cryptic and Alpine. Gecko, who goes to the top of the board with a 27-1. He is in the Mercedes. Egg in the Sauber. Shorts in Ferrari. Same with Raphael. Fusion and Andrea in the Red Bull. Fusion filling in for Edvin, who's not here tonight. And Beatnik is in the Haas. Now, one thing that you definitely notice is that Beatnik, as I said, is in the Haas. The guy decided to trade and leave Mercedes Academy. He left Alpine and has signed with Haas. I believe also on the premises is that because of F126 coming, with Cadillac being involved, I believe that Beatnik will be looking to get himself a Cadillac seat in that regard. And speaking of F126, those who have not heard the news, F126 is not going to be a new game. It's actually going to be a DLC for this game on F125. So that will be interesting, to say the least. But I digress. Let's take a look at Fusion as he heads into the last corner to get his time lap up onto the board. Fusion, Tier 2 champion last season, now getting shot on one of the big boys in Red Bull, and he goes into 5th fastest. So Fusion, in a sense, following the steps of Beatnik going into there, and nice job, Raphael. Our first time in the 26 is a 26-7. So we have a definite dark horse on hand to look for a shot for pole. I'll have to look at my stats, but I gotta look and see if Raphael got pole yet in his career. I think he did, but I believe he has at least one pole from last season. I'll have to check the stats to be sure. Hopefully the nerd managed to update those timetables for us. But speaking of which, Shorts, very nice job for him. Goes to a 27-0. His first lap was on inters, so, but on the soft compound tires, 27-0, which puts him about 3/10 behind there. Oh, hello! What the hell happened there? Well, the two Haas's have crashed, exiting out of the Jetta Spoon. And poor John just got hit with a 5-place grid drop. Look at that. Oh, look at that damage. Damage on John's left side of the wing. Beatnik, damage on the right side of the wing. What in the world happened to you boys? Hopefully one of them can provide a bit of input on what happened there. Looks like Andrea just had to restart his time lap. He made a mistake. Did he? Looks like... it doesn't look like he did. Looks like he probably backed off from his first run. But let's rock and roll with Andrea. 31.992 for his Sector 1 split. That puts him just a smidge faster than Raphael right now. So, Andrea really looking to put an exclamation point on his hand. Beatnik just said you can't park there. So maybe Beatnik was coming out of the Spoon corner and saw John from right there and just had nowhere to go. But that sucks for the Haas's. Probably a big misunderstanding between the two of them. You never know. We just lost Penguin. Once I get Andrea all set, once we finish Andrea's lap, I'll get him back in. But here comes Andrea across the line, and it is at 26.979, second place. Okay, sorry about that. Just wanna getting had a small distraction, but that's all taken care of. And I just saw Torn Penguin is back, so whoever invited him back, thank you for that. But let's see. Yeah, so you can't park there moments before disaster. Ah, that's what it is. Seeing a picture of Beatnik's screen. There's John just I guess he spun out, exiting out of the corner, and just sat there, and Beatnik just just went nowhere. Had like nowhere to go. I mean, I think Beatnik, from what he saw, and just goes like, "Yep, that's me." You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Something like that. I mean, Beatnik, if you're watching, that's probably, I'm probably guessing that's what you're saying. What you probably thought. Well, the hairpin and didn't want to make a move in a blind corner. Well, I mean, to be fair, it was pretty damn blind. Sorry on that, John, but that sucks there. Oh, excuse me. Well, Robin just went up into P7. He just split the McLarens in this regard. But let's see. So, everybody set a time right now. Well, except for Beatnik, who has yet to set an improvement lap. I think Egg is probably in the same situation as well. But currently, it is Beatnik, Egg, Cryptic, John, and Night Owl. They are the ones at risk of getting knocked out. Other drivers at risk is Union, TB, and looks like Josh has gone into the pits and called it. So I think Josh is gonna have to hope and pray that the lap he gets, that he has, is not going to be like enough to break it. But anyway, speaking of which, Union is almost out of fuel. I don't think he's gonna make it. So I think Union is gonna have to hope and pray too, in that sense. He's got Egg right behind him, so Egg is gonna have to be careful with Union, because he's gonna have to hope that Union doesn't make any mistakes. Well, actually, I just spoke too soon. Union did make a mistake, so he's gonna have to hope and pray. Anyways, TB going back to the pits. This is gonna be an interesting call. So TB is just gonna have to hope and pray. Same with Union. But let's see what's gonna happen here in regards to that. Well, Egg has spun out in the spoon, so he's out. He's out, that's for sure. I don't even know what he's doing. Let's switch to Night Owl. He's currently about 4.5 tenths up, so this is going to put him just ahead of Josh in P12. So TB is just going to have to hope and pray that the guys below don't beat him. But Night Owl comes across the line, and he goes to 11th fastest with a 27.8. Well, now let's look at John, and John's got enough to get himself out of it. So John is going to be safe. Might be safe. TB is looking to go out. Beatnik's just ahead of him going into the final corner right now. I'm seeing it on the map here. But here we go. Into the last corner we go. Beatnik comes across right now, and he goes 16th. He's out. John comes across. He's 13th. TB is out. Now, all matters lie on Cryptic. So Cryptic has to be a 28.219 in order to knock his teammate out of Q1. And across the line we go. It's a 28.091. Cryptic is through. So we lose. Both Saubers of Egg and Josh, the V-Carb of TB, the Alpine of Union, and the Haas of Beatnik. So those are your 4. Oh wait, Josh made it through. Oh yeah, I forgot there's 19. I'm sorry. So Josh actually made it through into Q2. I do apologize. I thought there was a full group of 20. I do apologize. Sorry. But Josh made it through. So we lost Union, TB, Beatnik, and Egg. That's who we lost. And John in 13th, he has a chance to improve, try to go up as much as possible. But with that 5-place grid drop, he's got some work to do. Alright, so we got Q2 well and underway here. We have cars out and about onto the circuit here. So we have Raphael right now going into the first corner. Torn Penguin is really having trouble staying connected in this session. Just want to point that out. I feel sorry for him, but let's right on board with Raphael, the fastest in Q1 with that 26.7. So let's see if he is going to be going even quicker than what he had on his first run. Looks like just ahead. Holy cow, that was a nasty rear snap. But keeping it together. Keep it together there, brother. Nice momentum there, heading into the spoon corner. I believe this is 13. Turn 13? Yeah, it is. Anyways, here we go with going into there. Just ahead is on the map is the Ferrari of shorts. Going to give him a tow and a helping hand, probably in the second split. Reese just set the benchmark with a 27.5. Gecko responds with a 27.6 on his part. There's shorts right there, saying hello, I'm here to help you. And nice momentum there, working together between those two. 26.5 for John John, 28.8 for Night Owl, 28.1 for Fusion. And let's see what Andrea's got. Not Andrea, with what Raphael's got. It's a 27.6. My speculation is probably it's on a used set of tires. But, yeah. Let's take a look. Moving on to our next driver. So, Robin just went with a 28.5. Just about a millisecond behind John John in his time. Here comes Cookie. He's going to come across the line. And that's a 27.7. That puts him just behind Raphael in fourth place. So, yeah, I mean, Torn Penguin is not happy with how his connection is going so far in this Q2 session, and he said that if it keeps getting bad like this, he's probably not going to continue driving. I mean, it kind of makes sense because if you're lagging and you wind up disconnecting at the wrong time, you could wind up hurting somebody's run. Nice drift by Josh there. Josh currently getting himself into Q2 for the first time this season for Sauber. Let's see if can Josh. Let's see what Josh can do in regards to this track here as he heads to the DRS point. About 199, 205, gets to close to the braking zone 203, into the braking zone there. Ooh, just a tad bit too wide. Goes a little wide and over. Under real F1 rules, that would have been a lap time deleted for going just too wide, exiting out of there. But, what more could you do? Josh was just trying his damnedest to make the car work and stick. But, what more could you do? It's just the first runs, so more than enough time to optimize your runs, get everything all hunky-dory and beautiful, and then great fun times after. So, Willow was on top of the board with that nice time with a 27.441. But like I said, this is just the first runs though, so anything can happen as the Q2 session ramps up even further and gets even more action-packed as it goes along. So currently we have 9 drivers that have set their lap times. Currently we have 6. Well, as I just said that was Night Owl just set his time of a 28.8. Torn Penguin just managed to get a 27.7. Maxwell with a 28.3. Wow, I almost said 23. That would have been a world record time right there. Anyway, Willow is on top of the board with Reese and Gecko as your top 3. But let's have our eyes here on Shorts as he heads into the last corner and wraps up his time. Looking to put a big exclamation point on his time. Didn't race last week, but comes across the line, and he is the fastest, a 26.7. I believe he is just about on par with the lap time that Raphael managed to set in Q1. Probably within at least about a couple hundredths or so. So that leaves only 3 drivers yet to set their laps. Andrea's about to get his onto the board, but it was a scuffed lap. So he'll be going back into the pits, and he's going to be trying again later on. Looks like Robin is just starting his new lap. So let's switch over to Cryptic, who's currently going through, I believe this is turn 16. And he's working on. But yeah, so at this track, pretty much what to watch out for in regards to like track limit warnings, penalties, even getting yourself into trouble in certain situations. The entire first sector is pretty much going to be your worst enemy. Turn 4, if you're not careful, you'll rip a tire off. We've seen many people do that. We've seen people crash out from third. Just as Joseph Loke, about 5-6 seasons ago, who did that. Yeah. But anyways, so Cryptic, unfortunately, currently the slowest right now with a 29.1. Probably a pretty scuffed lap in this one, and that is the 4th time we just lost Penguin this session. Man, this dude is just not having the great time at all. And Gecko goes, wow, just slightly faster than Shorts there. Only 0.03 of a second. Fusion, by the way, just sent himself into 3rd place with a 27.3 for his time. Cookie, let's go to Cookie, actually. He's just getting into his spot here. Shorts has called it in the pit lane with 4.5 minutes to go. I believe, since he's the one of 2 people to manage to get himself into the 26s, he's definitely done more than enough to make it through into Q3. Same applies to Gecko as well. But here comes Skither, Cookie, and Jesus, a 26.3. And Cookie was just saying GG to, was it Raphael or Andrea, for saying GG for pole. I'm not sure if that means that maybe these guys were faster than him, or maybe Cookie is much faster than, or Cookie is faster than them. I don't know. Andre is on an outlap. Josh just coming across. P9? P9. What? Okay. Where's our nerd? Where's the nerd? I've got time to run a casino heist before this ends. Well, it depends on if you're quick enough and all that, beatnik. But anyways, where's our nerd? Where's the nerd? Cyril's. If Josh manages to get the Salber in a Q3, find it in the stats. When was the last time we had a Salber in Q3 in Tier 1? It's gotta be quite a bit. It's gotta be quite a bit, at least. But well, Andrea's just working on his lap. Let's get back to Raphael here. It's about a 1/4 of a second up in the 2nd sector. So this is going to put him just ahead of Willow in P5. This Cookie believes he's done enough. And we have another 26. A 26.9 for Raphael. That puts him 4th fastest. So currently right now, our bottom 5 right now, it is John. It's John, Robin, Night Owl, Cryptic, and Andrea. But then again, Andrea has yet to get his lap onto the board. So in a sense, it's actually probably going to be Maxwell that'll be going into the bottom 5 very shortly. Josh, I would say, truth be told, if you are quick enough, I think maybe you might be able to get another lap in before it's over. I think. Oh, never mind. No, you don't have enough time. But anyways, here comes Andrea. Goes across, and he is now ahead of Raphael in 4th with a 26.8. Fusion down in 6th. He believes he's done enough. Honestly, I would say probably the top 9. I think they should be safe enough to make it through into Q3, because literally the gap between Torn Penguin and Josh is a quarter of a second as Reese goes up in the sixth fastest. But all eyes are on the group here. So this is where things is gonna get interesting, and here goes Penguin again. Oh my god. Oh boy. So one thing I do want to clarify is that Jack, our normal host for Tier 1, he's not here tonight. So we have I believe if I saw correctly, it was not Josh. He did ask Josh 433 to host. But I believe Raphael was the one chosen to be the host. Decided to host the event. But we'll have to find that out in that regard. Actually, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, I just make sure that all the settings are good. Yep, everything's all good. But anyways, I just had to take a quick peek on everything, make sure it was all good. But yeah, Torn Penguin will be at risk of getting knocked out here. Robin is out. John's out. They've invalidated. So that means Cryptic, Night Owl, and Maxwell have an opportunity to eliminate Josh 433 out of queue number 2. But here we go. Night Owl coming across the line, and he just nips Josh of P10. So will he keep it though? Here comes Maxwell flying in, and he goes ahead of not only Night Owl but also Torn Penguin. So Maxwell is through into Q3. Willow second fastest. And now comes Cryptic. In order to get himself out of the bottom 5, he has to get over 1.4 seconds faster than Torn Penguin. And unfortunately, it ain't the case. Cryptic is out. So, the top 3, it is Cookie, Willow, and Gecko for your top 3. And we say goodbye to Cryptic, Night Owl, Josh, John, and Robin Brain. Now, because of that 5-place grid drop that John had in Q1, he'll be starting in 18th, which means Robin Brain will be 14th, Cryptic will be 15th, I believe. But we'll get into that after a second. And Robin just said invalidated a 27.5. So if his time went through, he would have been just ahead of Maxwell in 9th and would have gone through, and he would have eliminated his teammate. Just give me a moment. Alright. Let's take a look as we're going into Q3 right now. So, our Q3 individuals going through. So, we have Raphael, Cookie, Torn Penguin, Fusion, Maxwell, Willow, Gecko, Reese, Andrea, and Shorts. So, that is your Q3 roster there. Cyril's what you have missed. Quite a bunch. I mean, John got a 5-place grid drop for spinning it out of the Jetta spoon and just sitting in at the exit of a blind corner. B-Nick had nowhere to go and crashed into him. That resulted in that one. Torn Penguin dealing with consistent lag outs. He's already got 5 on his list so far for today. Who knows how many more after this. But, I mean, Torn Penguin lagging out. He somehow managed to find his way into Q3. And you missed a potential Sauber getting themselves into Q3 for the first time in who knows how freaking long. Not sure if you had the stat for that, because I'm not good with stats and you're the stat nerd. Let's see, let's roll with Raphael here for his Q3 run. Now, Raphael was the fastest in Q number 1, was 6th fastest in Q number 2. Let's see if he'll rectify it here in Q3. And let's see what Raphael's got on hand as he heads into the chicane, heading to this first DRS sector. Yeah, definitely please do. Anyway, so 59.6 for that first. Nice wheel work. Just keeping it together. But very good stuff from Raphael there. As we have our benchmarks coming on in. Anybody? Well, looks like Willow's on a new lap. Or starting a lap. But Raphael is the benchmark. Here he comes across the line. 26.448 is his starting time. Unionist return. 27.9 for Reese. That's on a used set of tires. Let's go to... Where's Andrea? There you are. Coming across the line. Let's see what you got, big man. 26.4. About 45 thousandths ahead of him. Looks like Cookie... Yeah, Cookie had an invalid, so he's going to be trying again. Let's ride with Shorts out of the final corner. Across the line he goes. 27.295 in that sense. If I'm allowed to even do that for that matter. Well, I mean, they say they want... I mean, there was that debacle in the RPL chat over your stats in regards to comms, which I still find bullshit. Totally. I still find that as bullshit. But, I mean, you're the one that is really good with your like the stats and everything, and getting everything proper, so... Honestly, I think in my opinion, I think you should be able to take care of all the stats. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Honestly, you need to. I mean, the work that you put on the stats is just, it's just unreal. I couldn't even do something that good. All right, Torn Penguin, can you get a line time in before you get booted out again? Please, for the love of God, get Torn Penguin a time. There he comes, across the line. 27.581. There you go. And Cookie with a 26.7. So he's about half a second clear of Shorts. But Torn Penguin gets the time on the board. He would have gotten his final lap in before getting booted and disconnected. But, yeah. And so that leaves only 4 drivers you have to get a lap in. So we have Fusion, Maxwell, Gecko, and Willow for the times there. Well, for those watching, go ahead and place your bets. Who do you think is going to get the poll time? Who do you think is not going to get poll? Or put your top 3. What do you want to go with? And, oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Penguin is just getting fucked over. I feel sorry for him. I really do. This poor guy is just can't get a break. I feel sorry for him. I feel so sorry for Penguin. Alright. Who's coming out? Ah, Maxwell. I was wondering when one of the 4 guys that didn't get a lap at yet is about to come out. And Penguin's saying I'm not gonna participate in this race. I kind of don't blame you, because you were just getting screwed over by these disconnects. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see in regards to it, but yeah, I mean, there's only 2 reasons that Penguin would be having such an issue with his internet currently, with this connection in the session. I mean, either his internet's acting up, or it could be a host problem. Because, I mean, our normal host, he's not here. That's why we have Raphael as our host. It could be possible, maybe the connection to the host of Raphael is just not working. It's not in sync. But that's just my guess. But who knows? All right. Well, let's ride on. Let's check out Wim Maxwell here. Currently riding off into a second drive in Williams. Yes, son of a bitch. Don't why are you dropping off like that? There we go. Thank you. So, Maxwell, last week in Bahrain, started in 13th, finished in 12th. Had like some moments, was trying to fight on with the points, but just couldn't seem to get it to fully mesh and get everything all solid and well done. But let's see it tonight. Oof. Oh snap! And I think he just did it himself. So he's backed off from his lap, and he'll be trying again later on. But I mean, there's under a minute and a half to go, and he is in the at the end of the second sector, so he has plenty of time to recover and try again. All right, let's see what Cookie's got. 26,733 on his board. Comes across, and he's 3/10 up in that first sector. So that's going to put him just a tiny bit behind Andrea. But let's see one more improvement he's got on hand. Going into... Ay, that was a bit too greedy on the exit of that chicane. And he's backed off. I mean, can't say I blame him. He got a little too greedy right there. We just saw that on the screen too. That's why he backed off. He goes, I'm gonna try again. Just hope for something. Let's see what Fusion has for a better run coming out of coming up to the last few corners. Got a Merc just ahead, but that is Reese just getting onto the board first time lap. But Fusion, this is his one and done. Comes up to the line and across he comes for a 27.2. Puts him fourth fastest. So that's it for him. So let's see. Maxwell is invalidated, so he's done. He's done and dusted. Gecko is invalidated. He's done. So Gecko will be starting in 10th. That's gonna suck. Let's see. Shorts up by 6/10. Now heading to the second sector split. 8.5. That's gonna put him right with his teammate. Let's see what we got here. Prepare to see the top of the board change up quite a few times, perhaps. Is Maxwell out of the way? Here comes Shorts, and across the line he comes. Oh, 26.430. That will keep him in second. Willow is in third, but will Shorts respond? No, Shorts is in. So, Andrea, 26-0. Now, only one person to answer. Will it be Cookie to respond? Oh, he's way back. So, he's out. So, that's it. That's it. We're done. Andrea on pole. Shorts is in second. Willow third. Cookie, last week's winner, down in sixth. So there it is. So Andrea on pole with Shorts and Willow in for the top three. Then we have Raphael, Reese, Cookie, Fusion, Penguin, Maxwell, and Gecko rounding out the top 10. Gecko unfortunately invalidated his push run, so he couldn't get anything to fire off in regards to that. Andrea said that he lost about a 10th because he didn't want to kill himself in turn 4. Alright. So let's go over our roster here. So as you can see here, Andrea and Shorts are your front row. Then we have Willow and Raphael making up row 2. Reese and Cookie making up row 3. Fusion and Penguin are row 4. Then we have Maxwell and Gecko for row 5. Rest of the grid, we have Night Owl in 11th, Josh 12th, Robin 13th, Cryptic in 14th, Union 15th, TB in 16th. John with that penalty drops him down to 18th. He's got B-Nick just ahead of him, and Egg is in dead last. So we'll have to wait and see what everybody... Let's see what everybody's got for this. And looks like Josh has just gave the order to start up. So we'll be going lights out very soon. Now, that's one thing I just noticed, seeing those people on top of the roof just above the pits. I mean, they got a really nice bird's eye view at, like, up top cam, up top view of when the cars go into the pit. But anyways, here we go. 5 lights come on to start the Jeddah Grand Prix of RPL. And it is lights out and off we go. Good response from Andrea heading into there. 3 wide between some of the cars involved. Woo! Close, close. Be careful. Here we go. Tight maneuver. Tight everywhere. Figure out where you're going. Figure out where you're going before you lose some stuff. Don't check yourself and wreck yourself there, fellas. Andrea running away from Shorts. And he's got Willow right behind. Reese down. Flies in against Lero Fusion for the 6th place spot. Recovers that. And, whoa, close between Penguin and Maxwell. Little contact between the two, but both shook each other off and are keeping her going. Right on board with Torn Penguin, as he has. Looking at the back cam, there's Gecko right up on his heels. There's Maxwell, Fusion, and Cookie off and away they go into the sunset. Goes them. Look at that back of that rear camera again of Torn Penguin. Will Gecko think about making a move? Looks like Torn Penguin's got the move covered. Maybe not. There goes Gecko down the inside. And looking for it. Bit of a snap on the exit by Torn Penguin. But gets ahead there. A little further up ahead. Raphael up against Reese for the 4th place spot. Gecko getting ahead of Maxwell. Night Owl looking to make a move on Torn Penguin as well. But Night Owl thinks better and leaves it alone. Andrea just about a second clear of Shorts right now. So lap 1, it is Andrea, Shorts, Willow, Raphael, Reese, Cookie, Fusion, Gecko, Maxwell, and Torn Penguin. That is your front group. So it looks like everybody has opted for the medium compound tire to start this race off, all but the exception of Union. Union opting to go for the soft compounds. And it's not paying him any dividends at all. We have a trouble. That is Shorts into the wall. Shorts was in 2nd place and now falls all the way down to 14th. The Ferrari bad luck is striking again. There's TB up against Cryptic for the 11th place spot, and through and ahead goes TB ahead of Cryptic. But my goodness, Shorts came out of the spoon corner, has damage to the left end plate of the wing. There's a dive bomb by Robin Brain, throwing Cryptic off completely. Meanwhile, Cookie and Reese, Academy teammates, switching positions. Just saw that in the background. Cookie is up into 4th now. Robin Brain still trying to fight with Cryptic for the 12th place position, but he does finally get the mark, and ahead he goes. But yeah, there it is. So yeah, like I said, everybody is on the medium compound tires. Shorts is on the soft compound tires. After lap number 5, we will see where everybody is in regards to their positions from where they started. Now look at the move on the inside by Gecko. Very brave on the attack in the spoon, and he does so, and ahead up in the 6th place goes Gecko. And one thing I will also note that I am going to try to show the tire thing a little more often as I can, because apparently I had a complaint about it last week. But like I said, I'm gonna try my best to get that more active every now and again. I can't promise anything on that regards. Let me look a little too far ahead. There's Cookie on the charge up against Raphael. Now Cookie has a far better ERS availability than Raphael does. Makes it easy and done. Little touch between the two, and Cookie is up into 3rd place now. Any movements further back? Looks like we will have somebody moving. John, long way around with Union, and Union gets a little caught off guard from a bad corner entry, and John up in the 16th place. And looks like our next closest group looks like our next closest driver is gonna be Gecko to his teammate Reese. Now, if Gecko is driving faster than Reese, will the Mercedes decide to switch positions and Reese let Gecko go forward? And there's our first lag out by there, and Gecko goes wide, cuts the chicane. As Torn Penguin losing the position because of that lag to Night Owl. He's Night Owl up in the 9th now. Let's see if I could get let's see if we can get Torn Penguin back. See if we can get Torn Penguin back very quickly before I miss any battles here. There we go. Invite to you, buddy. Hopefully you can get back. I feel sorry. That's now your 6th lag out of the event. And look at that move down the inside goes Reese on Raphael. Can he get this sticking? Yes, he can. Up and ahead in the 4th place goes Reese. Nice move. Looks like TB was looking to eyeball Night Owl. Same with Robin Brain for the 9th place position, but Night Owl holding his position. Union into the pits, and he's gonna be getting off of those soft compounds and will be onto the hard compounds. So, Union onto the hards. I don't know. I don't think he'll be able to go 21 laps on those hards. So I think he'll probably be coming back. He'll be coming back a little later in the event. A bit of a spread, but a tad bit of a spread here. Let's focus on Gecko trying to eyeball Raphael for the 5th place position. Here's the rear camera of Raphael. There is the imposing Silver Arrow threat. That is Gecko. Is he going to get closer this time around? And TB's also gaining ground on Night Owl too. This could be for 9th place. But no momentum seen on Gecko's part. But here we go. TB going a long way around and into the braking zone he goes. Into 9th place goes TB. And looks like the McLarens have opted to switch positions. Cookie up in the 2nd. Willow lets him go up in the 3rd. And side by side is Raphael and Gecko. Still close together. And Gecko voicing it, not having a little bit of a displeasure in regards to that one. TB losing positions to both Night Owl and Robin. So Robin up in the 10th place, Night Owl back in the 9th, TB falls to 11th. From that little scuffle there. And Torn Penguin back in it, but gets a track limit penalty because of that. So let's take a look at our biggest gainers and losers of this event here, as Shorts actually just came into the pits. I just saw that. So he's onto the hard compound tires, as Willow and Cookie switching positions again, and up into, back in the 2nd he goes. But I think Cookie and Willow may be switching up again here. But anyways, so your biggest gainer right now is TB, up 5 spots from his starting position of 16th. Right behind is Gecko, up 4 positions. And sadly, because of that incident out of the spoon corner and having a pit, Shorts is the biggest loser, losing 17 positions. Anyways, Willow out of ERS, and he gives the position back to Cookie as, oh, Gecko into the penalty box in turn 1. Now that you don't see every day. A penalty in turn 1. Well, looks like Beatnik just returned back. Didn't realize Beatnik was still unavailable. Maybe it's because of that. Oh, Cookie in the penalty box! Ooh! Ooh! Oh, this has just gotten... Oh, this has just gotten pretty juicy now. So the driver with the first blood mark from last week into the penalty box now. And Andrea is still running off with the lead. He's about 2.2 seconds ahead of Cookie at this present moment. TV, by the way, did get past Robin a little bit ago to get back into the 10th place position. Let's go back to the front six. Cookie does have that DRS train. He's got Cookie leading the train. He's got Willow, Reese, Raphael, and Gecko in there. Two of them have penalties on hand. Looks like Josh and John just switched positions before the braking zone of the final corner. That is 14th for John. And Shorts just got past Beatnik for the 18th position. So Shorts has a lot of ground to make up for after that little mishap. Anyway, so let's take a gander looking at our field here. So looks like our closest battle right now, we got Cryptic and John for the 13th place position. Cryptic trying to not go onto the grind rail curb. John trying to stay in hot pursuit at this present moment. Well, here's Andrea currently. There's Cookie just coming into frame there. As you can see, that little orange dot right there. As you can see on the screen, that little orange dot that appeared on the screen just for a brief second. That's Andrea trying to run off and get some gains on here. Looks like Andrea just lost some time to Cookie. Cookie has gained roughly half a second on Andrea over the course of the last 2 laps at this present moment. I mean, if it continues the way it's looking, looks like Cookie could be getting himself into DRS probably within the next 2 to 3 laps, as Cryptic loses 13th to John. So John up in the 13th at this present moment. Looks like our next closest fight is back here, as we have TB looking to get close, eyeballing Night Owl for the 9th place position. No action at this one between Night Owl, TB, and Robin Brain. Josh trying to eyeball Cryptic again. That's for the 14th place position, but nothing in regards to there. Speaking of which, Raphael's going to be in a bit of trouble here. He just lost tabs to Reese in regards to the DRS. Now Reese has some comfort and doesn't have to worry about the threat of Raphael anymore, but Gecko sees the wounded animal at play, and he goes, "Ooh, you're out of DRS? My time to hunt." And Gecko not close enough in the first DRS zone, but maybe might have a better run in the second DRS zone if he has the momentum on hand here. But here we go. Gecko trying to gain some ground, but cannot seem to get enough ground needed on Raphael to go for an attack here. But nothing at this present moment. And looks like speaking of cars in the hunt, Cookie didn't gain any ground on Andrea on that last lap. But speaking of gaining ground, seeing on the map, as Cryptic and Josh are having a bit of a scuffle, and down the inside outside is TB trying to get past Night Owl, but nothing seems to be going his way. Robin, oh, this is not good! Ooh. That is not good at all. There's contact, TB goes wide. I mean, that, I think if TB did get himself a warning, that can get removed because he was pushed off by Robin. Seeing it on screen here. Anyways, got distracted yet again. But looks like we have some movement for some of the drivers coming in. We have Andrea, Gecko, and Willow into the pits, getting off of the tires that they are on. And they are off of those mediums and onto the hard compound tires. Night Owl, TB, Penguin, John, they're in as well. And let's see, Andrea comes out just behind Robin in the 7th place position. Willow right behind in 8th, Gecko 9th. And looks like Night Owl is going to be coming out behind Shorts in 12th. So Shorts and Union. Whoa, that was almost a collision between Shorts and Night Owl. And Robin getting past, letting Andrea through. Willow playing in there. Ooh, that was a bit terrifying to see. I mean, Willow made contact with the wall. He did see an opening, make a move there. We have a spin. That is Egg in trouble in turn 5. And Willow into the penalty box. Huh. Interesting. Huh. Very unique. I mean, from what it looked like, it didn't look like he didn't have any issue at all. Didn't look really weird. Anyway, so Fusion, Maxwell, and Robin are in. I don't know what in the world Egg is doing. I don't know what... Well, Egg's just screwing around. Anyways, he is going to get lapped pretty shortly here. I digress. Let's move on. Let's move on to Fusion as he's chasing Union down for the 7th place position. Whoa! Fusion onto the grind rail! You know that curb is really brutal when you're literally just, as soon as you get onto that part of that curb, you're just a passenger along for the ride. And Fusion lost that position to Maxwell because of that. Ouch. That just sucks. That really does suck, honestly. But anyway, so here we go. Cookie is in. Reese is in. Raphael is in as well. There's Egg going lap down. What was... Okay, I'm not even sure what's going on there. I just saw Egg just crash into the wall and then do that, but he is out. He's out of the race. So that's our first retirement of the event. So Cookie comes out in the 4th place position, Reese right behind, and Raphael comes out in the 6th place position. So looking at the gaps here, as Union battles with Night Owl for the 9th place position. Night Owl gets let through, and now Union, being the team helper, is slowing Shorts and the other guys behind down. TB, Robin, Torn Penguin, all there. Let's see what Shorts is gonna do. Shorts is making a move on the outside. Ooh, little contact, but Union keeps it together and holds on. TB stuck in this little mess. Torn Penguin does go ahead of TB, though, into the 12th place position. Oh, I think we have a battle for the lead, by the way. We have a battle for the lead coming up. Willow and Andrea. Willow looking to make the move. Can he go all the way down the inside and ahead into the lead? Goes Willow. So now Willow If he wants that win kept, he's going to have to pull 3 seconds on Andrea in order to keep that win secured. So Union still holding over the Assens right now as Robin gets past. Robin gets past them, so does Torn Penguin, and now Union has John with him in that regard. So everybody has made their stop, and everybody is onto the hard compound tires, as you can see on this graph here. So the oldest tires right now, it is Shorts and Union, both with 8 and 9 lap old, currently as it stands. We have a few people with 4 lap, which is Cryptic and Josh. A decent majority is on 3 lap hards. A couple on 2 laps. Cookie, Reese, and Raphael are the most recent, going on to their first full lap on these hard compounds. So let us look back at Andrea. Will he be looking for a potential move to go ahead? There's some more jumbling around. We have an incident. Yellow flag. I believe that was TB that came out worse for wear. He was battling with Robin and Torn Penguin. Beatnik into the penalty box for corner cutting. Now, Andrea not close enough to... Andrea not close enough to Willow to go for an attack for the lead here. Robin was thinking of a move on Shorts to get himself back into the points, but nothing out of that one. Union is back into the pits off of those hards, and I believe he's going on to a new set. No, he's going to a new set of mediums. And this is an interesting call here, but here's Robin just trying to put some pressure on Shorts here, but let's go back to the leaders as Andrea is closing, making his move on the outside, and back into the lead goes Andrea right for now. And Robin did get past Shorts for the 10th place spot before the spoon corner. So Shorts back out of the points. I mean, this is pretty much similar to what happened to Ferrari last week. But then again, both Ferraris didn't even get any points. They wound up because Raphael had that moment after the first stop. He dropped it, exiting out of 2. Willow had nowhere to go and made contact. And that resulted in both Ferraris not getting any points this time by. But I mean, this is not a great start for Ferrari so far this season. I mean, this is only the second round, but it's not a great opening 2 rounds for Ferrari, as they just lost, as Robin is still fighting with Shorts here for that 10th place position. I mean, poor Shorts is just getting himself hounded by the Aston Martins. And whoa, lockup by Shorts. Torn Penguin had to take a bit of avoiding action to not hit him. That would have sucked there. Also just noticed that Gecko is ahead of Cookie at this moment, but I think that's going to change pretty shortly, because there's Cookie right now right on the back end of Gecko, so I think Gecko might make a move, might let Cookie through and go into that position there. Torn Penguin fighting off John as Willow gets back into the lead over Andrea into turn number 1. Cookie getting ahead of Gecko into turn 1 as well. Will Maxwell think about doing the same thing ahead of Fusion? Well, Fusion actually just got ahead of him before the final corner. That's what it was. So Fusion up into 7th place at this present moment. Shorts dealing with Robin yet again, as Robin is out of ERS, and TB dealing with John. There's Torn Penguin with that massive lag spike, so we might see Torn Penguin lagging out again, potentially. Yeah, I think we're gonna see Torn Penguin lagging pretty soon. Yep, there he goes. I feel sorry for him. Sacred Silence similar to Ferrari in real life too. Ouch! Ouch. That has hurt. Well, Andrea getting past Willow again. These two are just brawling it out. Now, if Willow did not have that 3-second penalty, this would have been a phenomenal fight to watch between these two guys. Shorts dealing with Robin Brain again. Seeing it on the map. Nothing coming out at this present moment. Now, Shorts is, I think, might be coming in pretty soon, because he is on 11 lap old hards. Unless he's doing extremely well with that tire management. But, I don't know. I really don't know at this moment. Right now. There's Maxwell making his move on Fusion. And back into 7th place goes Maxwell. And there's Robin on the inside against Robin. Side by side, bumping and banging wheels between the two. And Robin back again in there, but Short's not willing to give an inch. And Robin's just giving it a little tap saying, hey, you're on older tires. Get the hell out of my way. And, oh, Raphael in a penalty box now. Anyways, here's the bet. Here we go. The storybook battle at it again between Willow and Andrea. Into the lead he goes. And, like I said, this is a war that's just going to keep going and going and going. Well, here's a fight that's going to be going again between Fusion and Maxwell, former partners in McLaren last season. And we have a crash. Cookie's wrecked! Cookie has crashed! Cookie has crashed! We have a safety car! Oh my god! Oh my god! Cookie just did what I just said at the beginning of the broadcast. To watch out for turn 4, and Cookie's dead! Oh my god! You gotta be kidding me! I said that! Be careful at turn 4, or it will kill ya. And it just did the Cookie. Oh my god! The championship leader just... Oh my god, the championship leader just got butt fucked. Damn, my god. Oh, it's been a little while since we had a Cookie DNF. Oh my god. But, well, now because of this, everybody's gonna be coming in and gonna be getting themselves onto the soft compound tires. Well, maybe not. Robin's on mediums, John mediums, Josh on softs, Cryptic on mediums, Shorts and TB on hards. Interesting. But this is gonna... Oh my word. Yeah. Alright. So everybody's coming in. Let's see what Raphael's gonna be going with. Softs it is. Softs it is for him. And even though there was a double stack for Mercedes, it did not affect them too badly, given where they were. But So Willow just picked. So Willow just picked from his old hearts that he had onto a new set of hearts. Fusion just did the same thing too. Maxwell's on mediums. Yeah, so everybody... So it's a whole litany of mixing. Because literally onto these new tires, you have Willow, Fusion, Night Owl, Shorts, TB, and Torn Penguin on the hard compound tires. You got Maxwell, Union. Well, Union pitted a while ago. But so we have Maxwell, Robin, John, Cryptic, and Beatnik on mediums. And then you have Josh, Reese, Gecko, Andrea, and Raphael on the soft compound tires. Given with how many laps are left in this race, honestly, I think the advantage are on second to fifth. Andrea, Gecko, Reese, and Raphael. They have the advantage. And one thing we ought to note here. Andrea is looking at a win. He's looking at a possible win. Because he doesn't have any track limit penalties. Unlike, because here's what we have. So we have Willow, Gecko, Raphael, Penguin, and Beatnik with track limit penalties. Well, Beatnik's is actually a corner cut, but still. I mean, Andrea is looking at the net win right now. Reese could be looking at second place. And I mean, and also you gotta look at Fusion looking at a possible P3, or hell, what are the odds that maybe Maxwell could pull something out of his ass and get a P3? You just can't write this. You can't write this script. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, looking at it right now, I mean, at the way it could be looking, I mean, if the race ended right now, truth be told, I would say the lead driver today contender is looking at Maxwell right now. Because if the race ended right now, Maxwell would be looking, and everybody was like bunched up together and everything. Maxwell is looking at fourth right now, if the race ended right here and now. Looks like the safety car is still out on the track. So looks like we're going to have a 3-lap madhouse for the finish. That's what we're looking at. So, to recap, Andrea got pole position from qualifying earlier today during the qualifying session. We've had 2 DNFs so far. We had Egg, who retired into the pits, and Cookie, yes, you heard it right, Cookie, made the mistake of crashing into that turn 4 inner wall, just like it has claimed multiple people before. And yeah, it's claimed quite a few people in the past. Willow is currently your leader, but he does have a 3-second time penalty on his record. Andrea currently the net leader in P2. Then we have Gecko, Reese, Raphael, Fusion, Maxwell, Union, Night Owl, and Robin. That is your top 10. Then the rest of your field, we have Shorts, TB, John, Josh, Torn Penguin, Cryptic, and Beatnik. That is the rest of your field. Now, Willow, as I mentioned, has a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Gecko, Raphael has the exact same thing as well, along with Torn Penguin. Beatnik has a 3-second as well, but that is just for straight corner cutting. Okay, so safety cars should be coming in shortly. There we go. Safety car is in. Willow in control of the field. Now, just to note, Willow on hard compound tires. Andrea on softs. And off we go, back on the green, with a 3-lap sprint. Let's see what happens heading into turn number 1. We got some movement in the background. Potential 3-wide fight here. Union looking for a slingshot on Maxwell, but got denied with Night Owl ghosting inside. And Night Owl up into the position. Whoa, into the back. Little scuffle between Night Owl and Robin. Robin got into the back of him. I mean, he was ghosting inside Union, so he thought he would ghost into Night Owl too, but nope. Better be careful on that one there, buds. Well, let's take a look at the lead here as we move forward. So here we go, out into the DRS zone. There is no DRS this lap, but we will next lap. Willow has a 3/4 of a second lead over Andrea. Night Owl battling with Union for the 8th place position. Holding strong is Night Owl, and he's lost tabs on the front 7. Definitely out of it for the front 7. Let's take a look here. So Maxwell 3.1 seconds behind Willow. So let's see what happens here as we head to 2 to go now. There's Robin and Union battling it out in the background. Meanwhile, Gecko was looking for a move possibly on Andrea, but couldn't see anything of it. Meanwhile, TB just got royally messed up. He lost multiple spots to Shorts and Robin. Shorts dealing with Robin inside. Shorts has to cut and come back across. He does have an illegal overtake. Contact, more contact, contact. Hello. I believe Shorts, even though he got a position because of it and has the illegal thing, yep, there's the 10-second for that. I believe he can get that removed because Shorts was pushed off by Robin. And Robin was the attacker in that regard. We have a spin, that's Union, who spun out. Dropped all the way down to 15th. Looks like Raphael's just trying to get back in tune with the front group. He's lost tabs on them. But Fusion and Maxwell now seeing the smoke and the fire. Here comes some fire from Gecko. Looking for a possible move on Andrea. Down the inside he goes. Side by side out of the final corner. Wheel to wheel. Entering the final lap. And across we go. Sponsored by Qatar. By Qatar Airlines. Probably a made-up sponsor. But anyways. Andrea falling behind, losing tabs on Gecko here, and here we go. Now Gecko has the advantage over here, and now he can probably play the team game and help build the gap over for Willow and Andrea here. 1.7 seconds to gap. Willow needs to get at least another 1.3 seconds in order to get the win. Fusion all over the back end of Raphael. 1.8, 1.9 now. Andrea, if he needs to get past Gecko, now's the time. 2.2. Now it's under 2 seconds. Here we go. This is it here. 2.3 now. Ooh, baby, this is gonna be tight. I think Andrea's got it. Andrea's got it. Fusion gets past, going for Raphael here. Let's get back to this. Here, coming across. Whoa! Trouble. Willow comes across for first, but doesn't keep it. Andrea wins here in Saudi Arabia. Reese in second. Willow will have to settle for third. Fusion in fourth. Maxwell, good credit to him for fifth. Looks like Robin Brain gets the final point with 10th place. I think the game's gonna get driver of the day to Maxwell, I believe. But Andrea gets his first win of the season. Reese in second. Willow has himself for third. The celebration on hand. The trophy in hand for Andrea. There we go. So let's see. Driver of the day, TB it's been given to. Andrea winner, fastest lap for Willow. Union with the most overtakes. Alright, so there it is here. So Andrea is your winner. Reese second, Willow third, Fusion 4, Maxwell 5, Gecko 6, Night Owl 7th, Raphael in 8th, TB 9, and Robin is in 10th. Rest of the grid, we have John, Cryptic, Josh, Shorts, Union, Shorts, Torn Penguin. I believe Shorts will get his position back. I believe Torn Penguin, Beatnik, and our DNFs of Cookie and Egg. Well, that will conclude. That's going to conclude the stream for today. But yeah, even though the game gave the gave driver of the day to TB because he was in 9th, I believe he'll fall back to 10th because I believe Shorts could get his 10-second taken off because he was pushed off completely by Robin. So I think that's going to be the safe bet on safe side for that. But I mean, I think I'm gonna have to play. I think in regards to how well he did during this entire race and compared to how he was last week, I think I'm gonna give driver today to Maxwell, in my opinion. With close contenders being Andrea, Reese, and Fusion as close contenders. So, with the stream being wrapped up, here's what we have coming up for next week. So, next week, which is, Thursday for Tier 3, which for us people in the United States, it is Thanksgiving. We will be at Spain. I'm still contemplating on if I'm going to be racing or if I'm going to be on comms. That day. I'm still contemplating on that one. Since we were at Jeddah for this week, for today, that's where Tier 2 is going to be next week. So, a couple people that were here for Tier 2, that are in Tier 2, like Night Owl, Josh. This is going to be some good experience for these guys to see what they're going to be looking for their race. But for Tier 1 next week, we are going to be racing around the circuit that is the Shanghai International Circuit in China. So, from RPL Streams, Ty and I will signing off. Good night, and we will see you on Turkey Day for Tier 3. Gobble, gobble, gobble!